How'd your match go?
Good. I got there. Both of my opponents had infinite mana, but they couldn't do anything because they were locked under Narcon of Emeria.
Infinite pass?
Infinite pass.
Ah!
I had just enough protection for my stuff to keep protecting the Archon and beat them all to death with Winota. So.
You're on Winota?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I saw something about you playing Conquest, and I was like, oh, Ian must just be here to play Conquest, but you're playing in the main.
They don't conflict with each other, so
that's beautiful. Well, I'm really glad to hear it.
Yeah, man.
I figured you were just like, nah, I'm on that Conquest grind. Like, I'm on some different shit. Don't worry about me.
Not.
Good. So it was a good matchup. Who were you? What decks were you playing against?
I played against Krark Sakashima, my own Dawnmaker Thrasios list, and Zur Shimmer Storm.
So you were familiar with the lists and stuff going out there. So who would you say out? There's a lot of people here. Who are aside from yourself? Who are some of your favorites to see like go into the later rounds?
I mean, it's super easy to bet on the End of the North guys making the top 16 because that's what they do.
Yeah.
I know Rebel's really confident walking into this one.
She did a lot of playtesting for sure. Yeah, it's really cool to see people playtest.
Anytime she puts her heart into like really getting the grind on, I know she can get it. So those are the big ones right now. I think Callahan from TMS might be an underdog because their list is well positioned right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's about it off the top of my head. But there's a lot of people here that I play with pretty frequently who I would not be surprised making the top table. Oh, also Zane's here, so he scores everything. Yeah.
So the other question was, are there any matchups for your deck that you're like really like a little hesitant about? Is there any particular matchups that you're worried about?
There's one deck in particular. It's Shorakai. I cannot beat a Humility. Just like straight up. If a Humility resolves, I'm out.
You're just done. So a lot of people are. Humility's really hard to fuck around with, so I can totally understand that. So the big gag question is, what are your three favorite creatures in your deck?
Oh, that's good. Ragavan's so good in Winota. Let's see, there's something real jank there. I actually added her card recently, and I can't even remember the name of it, but it's like some uncommon from one of the commander sets, and it's worth like 10 cents, but it's like an all-star in this deck. I can't remember, but it gives protection to a creature from your opponents, like period.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And, let's see. I'm probably Archon. Archon's so damn good.
Archon, Ragavan, and we don't know the third. Can we think of a placeholder, or at least a recognizable creature for the third?
Mogcatcher. Mogcatcher is OP. It is 2-2 up a goblin for 3 mana. It's a human, comes in off Winota triggers, you get Kiki Jiki off it, you get Dockside, like it's stupid.
So Mogcatcher, Ragavan, and Archon, fuck, marry, kill, go.
Marry Monkey, oh man, I think I kill the bird because the Archon's beak is so terrifying. I could not fuck that thing.
and they're gonna be fucking up your land drops all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're marrying the Mogcatcher?
No, we're Ragavan.
We're marrying Ragavan, we're killing the bird, and we're gonna fuck the Mogcatcher. Yeah. I love it. This is amazing.
3 hours later.
Ian, how's our standings?
3-1.
3-1 is spicy. Yeah.
Feeling really good.
That's good. What was the last matchup? Was the last matchup one of your dubs?
Yep. Won the last one. Krark Sakashima, Tassiger, and Malcolm Vile Smasher. Only reason I won that game is because I got Gemstone Caverns. I was going second, and Dranith on turn 1.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely locked out my opponents.
You were just holding it down for the whole game.
Never hit the battlefield. Malcolm Vile Smasher never hit the battlefield. Tassiger never hit the battlefield.
That's Dranith turn 1 will definitely shut a game the fuck down. And nobody had the removal. And was it just like?
It was like one of those things where they were awkwardly in like a Mexican standoff with each other. Yeah. Because if one of them like overexerted to get rid of the Dranith, then they were just throwing the game to the next person. Because Malcolm Vile Smasher had Glinthorn in hand from turn 1.
Okay.
Didn't know that per se. But the way they were playing, we were like,
this person's probably going to pop off.
If Dranith goes away, we just lose, basically. So it was a weird sort of stalemate, and then I just kept getting more and more resources.
I mean, that's what Winota does. As soon as you resolve Winota, it just becomes more and more powerful. I had a really crazy game with a Winota deck and then 2 Timna Thrasios decks. And it was like, I had a Withering Boon in hand. So I was ready to counter something, and Winota came down, and I let it slide. I was like, okay, we'll chill.
Kill that shit.
Well, it's because I'm sitting across from 2 Timna Thrasios, so I'm like, as opposed to like Winota hitting and like getting a turn or 2 to live, and the Timna Thrasios players, like, they resolve 1 creature in the game.
For sure.
So I was like, let me hold on to this so I can keep playing, and that's what I did, and I stopped a Labman.
Yeah.
but then we died to fucking Winota. So.
Yeah, it's interesting because like the play patterns with Winota have changed recently because a lot of the time, like way back old Winota, you should just try to like slam and jam as fast as possible.
Yep.
But now it's a lot more of like, okay, I'm going to play my Mother of Runes, and then I'm going to play this hate bear that no one can stop, and then I'm going to play another hate bear that no one can stop.
So you want to set up a board state before you jam Winota.
Exactly. And then by the time Winota resolves, they're dead in 2 turns, right?
And you've also, maybe have a couple of creatures to attack and trigger Winota as well.
Yeah, totally.
You get like a Dockside or some shit like that out there, and
Or
you
even like an Ornithopter. Like
Yep.
That's enough.
I've seen a lot of people running, or maybe not a lot of people, but I've seen like Ornithopter of Paradise on that list.
Absolutely. In the primer. Yep.
Super bonkers because it's
silly.
you don't expect like a 0-1 or a 0-2 or any of that sort of shit to be out there putting work in.
Yeah, exactly.
And with Winota, it's just perfect. I've played against yours. I played against Rachel's, like a couple different people, and it's just. It's oh man, is it fucking brutal?
It does work. It's probably like even with the colors, like the most powerful legendary creature that we have access to, and then at some other times it's like also it's in Boros, which keeps it from being busted, right? Like
yeah, but it's just
stupid, yeah.
What kills me is that that attack hits, and it's 6 cards deep.
Yeah.
Like and once you get like multiple 6 cards deep, it's just like God, like 6 is so deep, you know.
One of my favorite moments on my channel is my first video on the channel, my first gameplay video, playing with Scoots on Winota when I first made the deck. So it was still a brew at the time. And you hear Scoots just as soon as I hit my first trigger goes, it's 6 at like the top of his lungs. He was so just tilted beyond all belief. It was so funny.
6 is obscene.
It is. It's gross.
I'm glad to hear you doing good. I've definitely been like, there's chatter like who's doing good, who's proceeding, all that sort of shit, and I'm super glad to hear that you're one of the names. I'm really excited to see what the standings are after and who's going to day 2, and it sounds like you're getting close to it. If not, you're in it, or
it is looking really, really good. I don't.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
It's looking really, really good at 3-1. So
awesome. Well, congratulations. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes, and keep the party going.
Hell yeah, man. Peace.
Yeah.